It's another delicious day here in the Let's Make Food from Food kitchen, and thanks for joining me today. I am making a chicken summer squash vegetable stir fry, saute. Let's call it a saute, I guess. Couple of things. I use chicken thigh rather than chicken breast. Number one, because I think it has more flavor, and number two, it doesn't dry out as easily. I try hard to eat chicken breast because it's supposed to be healthier, but flavor often wins with me, okay? Flavor wins. And whatever you want to use. So you could use breast if you wanted. You could use chicken breast. So I'm going to get that marinating here in just a second, but I wanted to ask you, is there something that you'd like to learn how to make? Is there something that grandma used to make and you know what it's called and you kind of know what's in it, but you can't find a recipe? Let me know. Maybe I can figure it out. Or there's just a simple dish you are looking for. So let me know what it is down below in the comments. I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, moving on. I am going to go ahead and get my herbs and my oil in here. I have got, these are dried herbs from my garden here, some oregano and some basil. I have a little bit of kosher salt going on there. And then this, because it's freshly grown and ready, is some lemon thyme. And I'm using lemon thyme because I'm gonna like that lemon flavor in here. In addition to the lemon I'm gonna squeeze on it. It's just a preference. You could use regular thyme and it could be dried. I just happen to have some fresh ready to go from my garden, so why not? I actually have some basil too, but that is not dried yet. I've got one of those big rack thingies that you hang to dry your herbs, so it's in there right now. This isn't a recipe I wanted to use fresh basil for today. So here we are. And then I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. Now you can use olive oil if you'd like. I just wanted to use avocado oil this time since we're doing more of our vegetable based stuff. It just sounded better. Okay, I'm gonna turn my cooktop on and get it preheating to about 350. I guess that's not a cooktop, it's a skillet. I don't want to do a high temperature here because I don't want to burn my avocado oil, but I'm just mixing that around some, and I'm going to let it sit while this heats up and I start preparing my fruit. Yes, I said fruit. Zucchini, squash zucchini, is fruit technically, if you're talking about the botanical technicalities of it, because it comes from the flower of the plant. So it grows off of the flower and it has seeds inside. So it's fruit, just like tomatoes. Tomatoes are fruit. Mushrooms are not. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a lesson there. So I am just going to cut the ends off, and I've got small zucchini here. I'm not a huge fan of cooked zucchini to begin with, but it's healthier. And the smaller ones have better flavor and they're a little sweeter, so I prefer those. Now you can cut them in half so they're like moon shape, or you can quarter them. I'm just gonna, since these are smaller, I'm just going to have them and do some pretty thick slices. So I've got mine are about this thick, and I have 2 of these because my squash, my yellow squash, is larger and I want about equal amounts of each one. So that's why I did it that way. But these aren't exact measurements. So with yours, whenever I say a whole zucchini, small or large, they're never exact measurements. So I'm just trying to get it to be close to the same amount of my squash. Okay. All right, I think that is warm enough. I'm gonna go ahead and get my chicken going. We're gonna cook our chicken separately until it is no longer pink. And I'm going to grab a separate bowl when I'm done with this to put the cooked chicken in, and we'll add it back in when our zucchini and onions are almost done. I'm going to go ahead and quarter this one because this other end is thicker. My onion, I have some onion left over from another dish that I made, and so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this in half. And you can quarter this if you want, or you can just cut it in half. I like bigger pieces when I'm dealing with a saute or a stir fry like this. So that just goes right back into my bowl. And then I just have some cherry tomatoes, partly for color. These are also from my garden. My 6-year-old likes to snack on these, and so I got a couple of extra plants, and she can go out there and pick her tomatoes and rinse them off and just snack on them. This is almost ready to go into our bowl, so I'm going to give that just another minute and then we'll pull it out. Okay, my chicken is removed, and so now what I want to do is put about another tablespoon of my avocado oil in there and add my onions first. Okay, I want to cook those down about halfway before I add the rest of my vegetables and summer fruit. Okay, so those are cooked down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add in my mushrooms and let those cook for about a minute. These things just take different times of cooking in order for them to be, I don't want to say perfect because that's ridiculous, but I want my mushrooms cooked and tender, but I don't want my squash overcooked. So, and I want my onion done, but I don't want it mushy. So I start my ingredients in the order that I need them, but the chicken, I cook it separately so that I know it's cooked all the way through. It's going to stay pretty warm in that bowl because this is only going to take 4 or 5 minutes to cook all of this. And then we add the chicken back in and squeeze some lemon and pepper on it. It's going to be delicious, and everything will be cooked appropriately for the type of vegetable or fruit that it is. Okay, I'm going to toss on my tomatoes and my zucchini. Okay, maybe. So I'm going to let this cook for 3 or 4 minutes, and then I will add my chicken back in. And if you want to steam your zucchini a little bit, you can cover this with a lid. Okay, so I just want to check these for fork tenderness, and I want to give it maybe 1 more minute. So that means that it is time to add our chicken back in. So I'm just going to pour the whole thing in there and see if I can get all these little juices, because that's going to be delicious, and stir that in. Alright, so I'm going to let that cook for another minute or so, and then we are ready to dish it up. And something I nearly forgot was adding my lemon juice and some fresh cracked pepper. And add the pepper to your taste, however much you want. Alright, we'll give it one final stir. I'm turning off my heat. I'm just stirring in that, ooh, throwing a piece of pepper. I'm stirring in that lemon and the pepper. Now I'm going to get it all into my serving dish here. Oops, ouch. There we go. And there it is. I think that looks beautiful. It smells really good. There we go. I'm all set. I am ready to go sit down, have some lunch, some nice water, and just enjoy my afternoon, as I hope that you are too. Thanks for joining me here today in the Let's Make Food from Food kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, let's make food from food. So good.
That's one boy.